You're in the bubble in Indianapolis. You get your fun wherever you can find it. As for BYU's first-round opponent, UCLA stormed back to beat Michigan State in the first four. Tonight, they'll face the sixth seed Cougars, BYU, here on CBS at about 9:40 Eastern Time. 4 years ago, BYU forward Gideon George was playing basketball on concrete courts with hand-me-down shoes in Nigeria. Today, he's averaging almost 14 points a game for the Cougars, but his greatest contribution to the team might just be the perspective he brings as someone who is grateful for every opportunity.
Anytime I want to quit, I don't know what's inside me that keep pushing me to keep going. I think there's something out there better for me than in Nigeria. I just have that faith that one day I'm going to share my story out there to encourage people to keep pushing and never to give up.
The story of Gideon George is a story of resilience, of life not getting in the way of dreams.
Gideon comes from a place with no power, no running water. He slept outside most of the time because it was too hot in the house. He's probably had malaria more times than he can count.
His breakthrough moment, he heard that there was this kind of basketball tryout. He had to get on a bus and try, and it's not like a bus like we know.
That tryout was run by a group that connects athletes around the world with junior college coaches in the United States.
It's 100 degrees out, and these kids are playing, 6 hours on a broken concrete court with busted rims. Come to find out, some of the people that were on the ground that were supposed to be helping us had charged the kids to play in the camp and hadn't told anybody. And so they took all of the money that Gideon and his friends and some other people that had come to this camp that they were supposed to use for staying somewhere and eating. And, he never complained, right? We found out about it because of somebody else, not him. None of the other kids said a word. They were just grateful for the opportunity.
That opportunity led to an offer to play at New Mexico Junior College, where George was named Freshman Conference Player of the Year. This season at BYU, only his third playing high-level basketball, he is averaging just under 14 points per game. But a basketball court does not contain all of Gideon George's story, and most of it has to do with how he was raised.
My parents are hardworking. They always do their best to provide for us all the time. So that's it, man. Growing up, it wasn't that easy. So when I get to America, I went to one of my teammates' room back there in New Mexico at the dorms.
He looked in the trash and saw a pair of shoes and was like,
What is happening? You're throwing those away? And I was like, yeah, they're a little worn out, and sometimes my feet get sore if I wear them. He's like, can I have them? And so from that day, Gideon started collecting all the shoes to send back to his home country. And then as you dig into the story more, those were the shoes that he was wearing growing up. He was getting shoes from the same organization that were being shipped from the United States to Africa, and they enabled him to actually go on a court and play the way he learned how to play.
Shoes that I didn't wear or any of his teammates, women's basketball, track, cross country. He just started asking and asking. We had a game to where you get in free if you bring your shoes.
He's still figuring out which end is up when he's, suddenly thrust into this college environment in America, and he's thinking of everybody else back home that doesn't have the same opportunity.
Now we're benefiting from him because the program is getting, a lot more, known in the area just because of these donations. Encourages the kids to play more and be successful. So that's definitely making an impact.
That's someone that gets it, right? That's someone that gets that things are bigger than him.
Whether he never makes another basket again doesn't matter. Gideon George is going to have an impact on this planet because of who he is, not because of who he is as a basketball player.
Our thanks to BYU TV for that footage. The organization that sends used shoes to Africa, TimeOut4Africa, is dedicated to STEM education and athletic opportunities for young people. For more information, go to TimeOut4Africa.com. My first reaction was that this tournament is going to be remembered for the fact that it came back after the COVID epidemic. But with stories like that, you'd say, well, yeah, that could happen too, except that these stories happen year after year after year, and the fine men and women on our staff have done a good job of sounding them out.
I mean, Emily Deutsch and her whole crew, everybody, I wish we had time just to read all the names of these pieces that we're going to continue to watch over the next couple weeks. And I really think, Clark, this is why, a big part of why people love the NCAA tournament because they get to meet these young people. And we kind of take for granted this incredible international influx of talent that's overtaken the game the last 10 or 15 years. What would it be like for any of us to leave our family, our community, our schools, everything we know, go to a place, speak a completely different language, and a young man like that is not only doing all that, but trying to help the folks back home. It's why we are honored to sit up here and watch these people.
No doubt about it. I mean, perseverance, resilience, character, compassion, those travel across all worlds. And to see young athletes recognize that, in addition to utilizing and maximizing their gifts on the court, is inspiring. It uplifts all of us, and that's part of what this injection of March Madness provides for us. Not just the games and the excitement and the drama, but the stories of humanity that exist, and we get a chance to share those with each other and with the watching world.
Yeah, and all over the globe, and that's the big thing. You know, we forget that this game is a worldwide game, and it continues to grow everywhere in so many different countries all across this wonderful planet that we live on. And I can't wait to see what he has in store in this NCAA tournament, because he has a big-time backstory on how he got to BYU, and that team has a lot of character also.
Yeah, that really drives him, too. Yeah. You think about his background and what he's gone through, his heart is, I mean, that drives him in a way that you can't manufacture. I mean, you can't pretend to be hungry if your pantry is full, and he's gone through some difficulties that have honed his character and his drive, and he's got a high ceiling, not only for his life, but for his game.
No matter what happens in the tournament, the man's a winner.
Yes,
already,
sir.
A young man. Back with more Capital One Tournament Central after timeout.